everyone, and welcome to Business Boutique. I'm Christy Wright, and today we are talking about getting outside your comfort zone. Now, if you want to go anywhere in business or life, let's be honest, you're gonna have to get outside your comfort zone. So I want to spend this episode talking about that. You know, it makes me think of how we started the Business Boutique podcast back in 2016. Now, you all probably don't know the backstory, so let me tell you really quickly. In 2016, we decided to do something new for Business Boutique. Now, I would love to tell you that the podcast was a result of all of this strategy and planning and brainstorming and surveying our target market, but it wasn't. To be honest, we chose a podcast because I was pregnant. Yep, I was pregnant in 2016 with my second son, Conley, and we knew that it would be really difficult to continue to record videos, if we did a video format, and maintain that through my pregnancy. And let's be honest, I didn't really want to be on video a whole lot as I was getting larger and larger because y'all know I have big babies. And so that was just tough. And even maintaining those videos through maternity leave would be really hard. So we thought, you know what? Let's do a podcast. You won't see me. It'll be great. So that's what we did. Now, luckily, it has worked. But let's talk about that format really quickly because, to be honest, that format from the time that we started through the first couple of years was hard for me. How am I going to communicate the energy with no body language and no facial expressions when it's just an audio format? You know, all of this was hard. It was outside my comfort zone. Now, since then, thankfully, we have reached over 2 million downloads. We are on our 53rd episode. We have 53 hours of teaching and countless questions answered from you all that write in and send them to me on social media. We have tons of amazing expert interviews and then incredible success stories and then emails from you all that are telling us your story of how you're out there winning and doing the thing. And now, a couple years into the Business Boutique podcast, we have expanded to other channels and other formats, and we're even putting content on YouTube. So yay, I get to do both. I get to have my podcast and make an impact there and hang out with people on YouTube. All of that was possible because I took a brave step and trusted my team, and we did something outside my comfort zone. See, I was really comfortable speaking. I was really comfortable on video where I can show all my flying hand gestures and my facial expressions, but I felt really limited with the audio format. But I trusted my team and we did something new and we have seen an incredible impact. And as of today, not only is that impact still growing, but we're going to keep doing it because we learned something when I stepped outside my comfort zone. Now, that doesn't mean that the only right way to grow your business or brand is on video or even through a podcast, but it is important for you to understand what's possible when you do something new. So what's that for you? What does it look like for you to step outside your comfort zone and do something that might be a little uncomfortable? We tend to think of our comfort zone as something that is scary, and sometimes it is, sure, but not always. It doesn't have to always mean that you do something scary, like get outside your comfort zone. It's gonna be terrifying. It doesn't have to mean that. It might be scary, but it might just be new. It doesn't always have to be bigger. It doesn't always have to be better. It doesn't always have to be more risk. It doesn't always have to be more spotlight. It might just be something that you've never done before. It might just be something that you're not comfortable with. That's why we call it your comfort zone. So I want to talk a little bit about this in this episode and teach you what happens outside your comfort zone. You know, one of the other examples that it makes me think of is when I first became a writer. And by the way, when I consider myself becoming a writer wasn't when I launched my first book or when I started regularly writing blogs. For me, when I became a writer was this specific day, and I will tell you the story. I've probably told this story before, but I was on a coaching call with my class back when I was taking business and life coaching classes, and we all took turns being the student that was being coached, or the client that was being coached. And I was on this particular call, and I was telling him about whatever my problems were, about struggling with writing and that type of thing. And I said something on the call. I said, well, I'm not a writer. I'm a speaker. I'm comfortable speaking. I can use my facial expressions and my hand gestures and all of that. And writing, I just feel so limited by just the words and the punctuation on the page. I said, I'm not a writer. I'm not a good writer at all. And then I stopped talking. And then he used a very powerful coaching technique, which is silence. And he just let those words hang in the air. And as I heard them echo in my mind, I realized just how ridiculous they sounded. And then I corrected myself after a long pause of him being silent, and I said, well, that just sounds ridiculous now that I say it out loud. And I realized that day that I was a writer. The fact that I wasn't a writer was a lie that I had been believing. You know, a lot of times we do that. We have a comfort zone. I'm comfortable here. I'm comfortable speaking. I get that. I've done that. I understand how to connect with an audience. I know this format, this thing over here, writing. No, I'm not comfortable with that. That's outside my comfort zone. And what happens is we make those statements about ourselves. We say things like, I'm not a writer. I'm not a leader. I can't sell. I'm not business-minded. I'm not smart enough. I don't have enough money or time or resources. You know what we're really doing? We put limitations and labels on ourselves, and then we live within them. I want you to really hear that. We put limitations and labels on ourselves, and then we live within them. But what if God doesn't agree with your label or your limitations, by the way? And what if he has different plans entirely for you? What if he wants to do something in you and through you, something that is new, something that is scary, something that is outside your comfort zone? What if he does? What if he does not have those same labels for you or limitations, by the way? I want to talk about some things that can happen outside your comfort zone. And by the way, these things only happen outside your comfort zone. So if you want to experience any of these things, they will only happen outside your comfort zone. Number one, you grow. You grow outside your comfort zone. You do not grow inside your comfort zone. I'll give you an example. In high school, I played soccer. I did not play soccer until ninth grade. So lots of people played growing up. I never did. I joined the team in ninth grade and then picked it up pretty quickly. I became a pretty good soccer player, at least for our team. And by senior year, going into senior year season, I was by far the best person on our team, or at least one of the best. I was the captain with another girl. And the summer before our fall season, my senior year, I decided to go to a soccer camp. And this camp was actually at Ole Miss. So we had to travel a few hours from Nashville and go to this camp. And I was excited. I was like, yeah, this is new. I'll learn some new skills and become a better player. I'll grow as a soccer player. But I had no idea what this was going to be like. I had no idea how far outside of my comfort zone that this was going to be. You know, once I got to the camp, there were girls that had been playing soccer since they were 2 years old. Germantown, right inside of Memphis, is a really big soccer town. And these girls have been playing since they could walk. They were running circles around me and had made me, the best person on my team, look like I'd never touched a soccer ball in my life. That week, I was last picked for every single scrimmage that we did. And I left defeated. I left feeling like, you know what? That was way outside my comfort zone. That was scary. It was intimidating. It was embarrassing at times. I thought I was pretty good, but apparently I'm not. But you know what happened? I went back home to my team and I was a completely different soccer player. I had skills that had developed that week outside my comfort zone with girls that were much better than me that could have never been developed otherwise. You know, it's interesting because I think that sometimes we forget that growth and comfort do not coincide. You can either grow or you can be comfortable, but not both. It's one or the other. So, for example, when I'm laying on the couch relaxing, I'm not growing. When I'm lifting 10-pound dumbbells over my head, working out, lifting weights, I'm not comfortable. Now, there is a time for both, rest and growth, but you can't have both at the same time. And I want you to keep that in mind because oftentimes we think we can grow but stay comfortable, and you can't. You know, I'll give you another example. My sons, Carter and Conley, they're both toddlers. Carter is 3.5 and Conley is almost 2. And those boys go through growth spurts like all kids do. And when they go through these growth spurts, they hurt. Their bones hurt, their bodies hurt, their muscles hurt, and they cry, and it hurts, and it's uncomfortable for their little bodies. But you know what? It's necessary. It's necessary for them to grow. They can't stay a toddler forever. And by the way, mama's back needs a break. The children need to learn to walk. They need to learn to get in and out of the car and the bath and the everything by themselves, right? But that only happens when they grow. And sometimes growing is uncomfortable. I used to be scared to speak to 500 people when I started out speaking. That was outside my comfort zone. That was scary and intimidating. But in doing it, I grew. I became more comfortable with it. I did it scared, like I always tell you guys to do. When you get outside your comfort zone, you grow in so many areas. You become more mature, more skilled, more experienced, more confident, more consistent, more everything when you grow. But the only way you can grow is if you get outside your comfort zone. Now, the second thing that happens outside your comfort zone, in addition to you growing, you also learn. You learn new things. So let's look back at the soccer story, for example. Not only did I grow as a player, but I learned all types of new things. I learned new skills and new drills and new tricks and new training and new conditioning techniques that I actually brought back to my team in Nashville and taught them. I taught them new skills and drills and techniques and that type of thing. So you not only grow outside your comfort zone, you also learn new things, new ways of doing things, new information, or new strategies, or new systems, or new processes, or new ideas. Those things can only happen outside your comfort zone. So I'll give you an example of women that attend business boutique events, for example. Many of them are scared. They're not sure if they should go. They're like, I don't know if I have a real business, or I don't know if this is for me. I feel a little intimidating. It feels a little outside my comfort zone. But when they do it, when they go anyway, when they do it scared, and they buy a ticket and they show up and they sit there in the rows with all the other women who, by the way, are probably scared just like they are, and they show up, what happens is they learn. They learn new information. They learn new marketing strategies. They learn how to sell. They learn about websites and branding and marketing. They learn so much that they go home and apply to their business, and then they win. Their business grows, their bottom line grows, they reach their goals. All of that happens because why? Because they got outside their comfort zone. They did it scared. They learned something new and they were willing to simply go. Now, you can learn new things from your home, from behind your computer alone. You absolutely can. But there is a different level of learning that happens when you physically show up somewhere. When you physically take this brave step to literally get outside your comfort zone and you go to a new group, or you join a new club, or you sign up for a new class, or you meet new people, or do new things. See, you don't just search a new website, you physically go to a new place. Something happens there. You learn and you grow in a different way that you could never learn from just searching Google, because something is not only happening in your brain in terms of new information, but you're having a completely different experience. You're meeting new people that could completely change the trajectory of your life and your business because of that one key relationship that wouldn't have happened if you didn't take that brave step and show up and actually go. So if you want to learn new things, you have to get outside your comfort zone. So outside your comfort zone, you grow as a person, you learn. The third thing that happens is you become. You become those things. So all of that growth and knowledge that you gain outside your comfort zone eventually, over time, becomes a part of you. You become those things. In effect, it becomes a part of your new, larger, more expanded comfort zone. So after going and doing and learning and growing, you become it, and it's no longer uncomfortable for you. So after lifting 10-pound dumbbells 2 times a week for a month or two, it's not hard anymore, right? After speaking to 500 people regularly for a couple years, it's not scary and intimidating anymore. It's not uncomfortable. It actually becomes comfortable. So that thing that used to scare you or intimidate you or be outside your comfort zone is now a part of your comfort zone. Your comfort zone has grown and expanded as you have grown as well. And then, you know what happens next, right? It's time to push yourself again. It's time to increase your weights from 10 pounds to 15 pounds, or your audience from 500 people to 1,000 people or more. As you become more, you can do more, and as you do more, you can go after more things. And one day you look up and you're like, I can't believe I'm doing this. I can't believe I'm performing at this level. I can't believe I'm sitting at dinner with these types of people. I can't believe my business is producing this type of revenue. I can't believe I'm making a personal income of this. But it all happened one baby step at a time. As you learn, as you grow, as you get outside your comfort zone and your comfort zone expands and you continue to push yourself more and more. You will reach new heights, you will take on new challenges, you will reach new goals that you had never dreamed of when you started out. But it won't happen if you stay where you are. It won't happen on the couch, behind the computer, or in your close group of friends. It only happens out there, outside your comfort zone. So don't put limitations and labels on yourself and then live within them. Instead, I want you to go. I want you to grow. I want you to get outside your comfort zone. Thanks so much for watching, and I want to help you put this into practice. You can click the link below to download my Fear or Wisdom filter. It helps you know, is it fear or wisdom holding you back, and how you can handle it. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you stay up to date on all of my new videos.